In this video I'm going to cover what could be the best way to play Death Guard, and exactly why that is. I'm going to be talking about the Army of Renown Terminus Est Assault Force from this book, the Warzone Chariot Act 1. Before we go any further, one challenge we do have is that GW no longer stocks this book to buy. So you'll have to buy it from an independent retailer and hope they have stock. It's $37.50 in the UK and that price is shocking, but you should be able to get it for under $30. That's still a lot of money for essentially 4 pages. So to save you some money, here are the pages. Feel free to pause and zoom in and have a read. What you get in these 4 pages are restrictions and benefits, warlord traits, relics, stratagems and psychic powers. And starting with restrictions, you can't take vehicles or Mortarion. All units must be Death Guard and the Harbinger's Plague Company. And if your army includes TYPHUS, which I'm sure you will be taking, then he must be a warlord and he receives an additional warlord trait. For all this, you get access to special stuff like relics and psychic power. You can also deep strike your strategic reserves within 9 inches rather than from a table edge. It does cost an extra command point more than normal, so it might not be used, especially in the CP-starved Nephilim season. However, literally anything in your army can take advantage of this. This sort of army is crying out to flood the battlefield with POXWALKERS and Terminators. You can build like this anyway, so what's so special about Terminus Est? TYPHUS is your star, but you'll likely take a second caster in that army, perhaps a Malignant Plague caster at 90 points who can cast twice. Given the special relic Filth Sensors, that increases his cast range by 6 inches, so that's 24 inches for most things. Actually one of the strongest psychers in Death Guard, he also deals mortal wounds on casting with Pestilential Fallout. Then there's TYPHUS, who you'll definitely want to be taking. 165 points, he's got a 2+ save, 4+ invuln, -1 damage, he ignores 1 AP with the Armour of Contempt, and casts 2 psychic powers. He deals mortal wounds to opponents that are nearby, and that's a potential of 6 mortal wounds. He buffs POXWALKERS by giving them +1 strength, and you want to be taking POXWALKERS in his army too. You can reroll hits of 1 for core, he extends the contagion range by 3 inches, and in Terminus Est he actually has 2 warlord traits. Shinebull Rot, which I've already discussed briefly, that you can deal mortal wounds to things nearby, and Harbingers of Death, units within 3 inches lose objective secured, but the key one is that he gets +1 attack to himself. His melee is already scary, but at base 7 attacks now, and with one of 2 profiles, he's demolishing most things. He'll have 7 attacks at a weapon skill of 3+, strength 7 -3 AP and damage 3, or he can go for 14 attacks, 2+ weapon skill this time, -1 AP and damage 1. The important thing is that whoever he's hitting is in contagion range, so they're -1 toughness, so he'll always be wounding on 4+ or better. Other good relics for Terminus Est include Mark of the Terminus Est for +1 strength. Also the bearer can have no rerolls of wounds against them, and once per battle they can change a fail save to a passed one. This sounds sort of thing that's great for a Death Guard Demon Prince. And Raiment of Atrophy, you can treat the contagion range as round +1. This essentially extends it out by 3 inches. Great for a Lord of Contagion who already extends the range, so you'll be starting off at 6 inches and round 2, 9 inches. With a good few casts available to you, then the Terminus Est powers are really good, and I've picked the 3 best ones. Lung Rot for a warp charge 7. A unit can't advance, they can only charge if they're within 6 inches, and they can't re-roll a charge. Pernicious Dose for warp charge 7. It's a 6-inch cast to give it re-roll all hits to plague weapons. But with Filth Sensors that can go up to 12-inch cast. And Rotwind for warp charge 7. All attacks have their AP reduced by 2. It doesn't combine with Armour of Contempt, but it's an absolute killer. Imagine casting this on a Demolisher Lehman Russ. With the relic, you can match its 24-inch range, and making saves in cover will be 2+ for a Terminator. We shouldn't forget the other Old Faithfuls you'll be definitely taking. Miasma of Pestilence for warp charge 6, -1 to hit, and Putrescent Vitality for warp charge 7, +1 strength, +1 toughness. You'll probably be taking POXWALKERS with this army, very thematic and a natural company to the master of POXWALKERS, TYPHUS. Super cheap at 5 points, objective secured and fearless. They are slow at 4 inches. If they kill any models, you can add POXWALKERS back, and they only have a 6 up feel no pain as a save. The great part of using these is their synergies. TYPHUS makes them strength 4, and fighting with contagion means they're wounding marines on a 3+. Terminus Est has a few good POXWALKER strats as well. Unleash the Horde for 2 CP, giving them +3 inch movement for the POXWALKERS and allowing them to pile in 3 inches. The Wrathful Dead for 1 CP from the Harbinger's Plague Company, reroll all hits. And the Rotting Tide for 2 or 3 CP. Bring a unit of POXWALKERS back to full strength or return a destroyed unit completely. 2 CP base or 3 CP if it's greater than 10 models. Pretty expensive, but any strat that can bring back a destroyed unit up to 20 models is pretty good. A quick look at other staples to the Terminus Est, and it has to be the Terminators. Probably where most of your points will go. Praemarines are good, just do everything a little worse, even though they're also cheaper. The Terminators are objective secured, amazing durability, 2+ save, 4+ invuln, -1 damage, and ignore 1 AP with Armour of Contempt. They hit on 3s and there's loads of way to buff this. Mentioned already, either +1 or rerolls, but there's also Vermid Whispers for 1 CP, +1 to hit. They are also slow at 5-inch move, but they do get inexorable advance. That means they ignore modifiers to move, advance and charge, so basically terrain and special abilities won't slow them down. They're hard to kill and leadership 9, so it's unlikely they'll run away, but they also ignore combat attrition modifiers. Terminators always get malicious volleys, which is double shots for rapid fire weapons, and since they have combi bolters by default, that's 4 shots each. Consider taking a blight launcher or a combi melter for the extra firepower, potentially to take on vehicles. Keep them in cover, walk them through craters that doesn't slow them down, and they still get a +1 save. They are starting on a 1-up armor save, and then they still have Armour of Contempt. They shoot well and hit hard, virulent rounds for 1 CP, can reroll wounds with 1 to shoot, and Eternal Hatred for 2 CP, because the +1 to wound means they hit even harder. Other good synergies to consider. Plague Surgeon, only 75 points, but gives out a 6+ feel no pain to anything within 3 inches. Can also heal D3 wounds, and great to follow a blob of Terminators. The TALLYMAN, 70 points. Gain a CP each round by rolling 2d6 and getting 7+. You can give a unit +1 to hit, and consider having the Tollkeeper relic on him for a 6-inch aura of exploding 6s to hit. Might as well send that one with your blob of Terminators as well. Admittedly, not taking more tear in our vehicles may put people off. The slowness does need some good gameplay, but everything is so durable and deadly, things will just melt away. And Morty at 450 points is a primary target number 1, but he's bound to be focus fired upon and taken out even though he's so resilient. Perhaps 11 Terminators instead is better value. They have better armor save, and with a Plague Surgeon they're just as resilient. Also, they can make use of obscuring terrain. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this, and why not consider subscribing and helping out the channel. See you again soon. Bye.